Hey, my name is PolishLynx and welcome to the letter. Let's check out quickly what happened in the last episode. So, basically, when Ashton showed up at the pump's main launch again, he caught Rebecca and Isabella in the middle of an argument. The latter insisted on going back to the mansion, which the former strongly opposed. Let's point out that Isabella wanted to go alone. However, before Ashton could step in, harsh words had already been said. Obviously, mostly by Rebecca, who is annoying. After scolding Rebecca for her harsh tone, a concerned Ashton followed after Isabella. He found her alone in the corner of the lounge, upset. Despite agreeing with her, he gently explained why going back would be a good idea. Thankfully, she eventually acquiesced. And you know who's going to go. And with all the events, Isabella still maxed out. The choices for Zachary, well, didn't really have any influence in the previous one. Same Hannah, Marianne, and Luke, obviously. And well, for Rebecca, it dropped below the starting point. Which doesn't matter, kind of. Anyway, Galway show's Monday night crowd, although small and barely occupies a quarter of the whole pub, provides ample enough cover for anyone who wishes to leave the place unnoticed. Just exactly what I need tonight. With the lively music and chatter slipping out, mostly unseen becomes a piece of cake. Without much trouble, soon enough I find myself standing outside under the chilly Luxembourg night. A gust of wind picks up shortly after I step out, carrying the telltale smell of an impending rain. I'll give it about an hour or two before it starts. From the looks of it, tonight will be another downpour. Maybe even stronger than the one we've had this morning. On instinct, I hunch further into my jacket, hugging its thick material closer to my body while I weave my way through the lines of empty cars in the parking lot. The letter crinkles in my pocket with each step I take, for I paid no mind as I hurried towards my car. I've nicked it minutes ago from Isabella's belongings on my way out. If this all connect, I need this damn piece of paper with me. Well, I guess so. However ridiculous it sounds, I'm quite sure it won't be missed either, but I can't waste time here and wait for her to find out. Can I? Yeah, I assume you can. Four hours is all I'm giving myself to get this done. 3 if I'm inclined to go by the rules Z-Man said, but when have I ever? Regardless of how generous that is, each second's just as important as the next. So I hurry, one footstep over the other, echoing as I make a beeline for my car. But as with every plan, problems crop out at last second. It's practically a universal rule. And it does. In the form of a lone figure waiting for me next to my car. Oh, for fuck's sake, go away! Rebecca turns just as I near the corners of her mouth, twitching up in a wry smile. She offers no greeting except for a slight tilt of her head. Once my pace slows and I look at her with all the unvoiced questions in my eyes, she remains wordless, merely throwing her head back and shifting her attention up at the starless sky when I come up to stand beside her. Another gust of wind blows as she breathes out this time, very thick with something close to resignation. Go away! Breeze carries all of it away, while she hugs her arms closer to herself to keep warm, which raises the question why she's out here. Exactly, go away! The air is already heavy with the promise of rain, with clouds obscuring the view. There is really nothing left to look at but a dark blanket of nothingness. Still, she stands here as if she's intentionally waiting for everything to fall. That or she's here for some other reason. But before I can voice a single word express a disapproval of any kind, she raises a halting hand at me, sharply cutting off the rest of my question.
I'm not here to stop you, wherever it is you're planning to go off tonight.
I mean, technically, if I remember correctly, it's Monday. I might be mistaken, but I think it's Monday. So technically he was supposed to give all of the reports and such on the case he was in to his boss. So, you know, he can use this.
I won't be able to anyway. You look like you've already made up your mind.
Go back inside. It's going to rain soon. It'll probably be even heavier than the downpour we had this morning. You wouldn't want to be caught in it.
I will, in a moment. I just want to stay out here a bit for some air, away from the noise inside.
That you coast.
Everything's been so chaotic these days. This little break is nice. Even if it means standing in the middle of a parking lot, of all places. Getting out of this mess would definitely be better, but hey, you take what you can get, right?
It'll be over soon.
The confidence in my own words surprises even me. How do I know? Why am I so sure? When in truth, what I'm about to do is a last-ditch effort. Keep this face. If I don't find anything, we're back to square one. It's the last lead I have. After this, we have nothing else to go off from. Regardless, it seems to amuse her, and her laughter soon sounds above the murmur of the distant traffic and the light draft sweeping around us.
How I wish. I'll be content as long as she stops showing up in my mind whenever I close my eyes.
I think that may take some time. The brain doesn't easily forget trauma.
I can try. But, you know, it also did a lot to us.
Tell me about it. The back of my head's still smarting from my fall last night.
Not that kind. I'm talking about us. As people. I hate to admit it, but this whole deal with the ghost, with the curse, it also brought out an ugly side to us. To all of us.
Mostly to UFO.
And it made me realize plenty of things. About myself. About us.
There is no us, fool! Rebecca herself, suddenly a pensive expression spreads across her face. I've seen it countless times before. And every time I see it on her, it's usually followed by a memory, a silly story of even something embarrassing I've said from childhood. Unlike me, who will much rather forget, she remembers each of them so easily. And after a short bout of silence, when she smiles, I know this is one of those times again.
Do you remember that one time, back in secondary?
Could you be any less specific?
Which one? We did a lot of dumb things back then. Well, I did, but you get the point.
Mandy.
I thought you still don't like her. Don't tell me you've kept in contact with her. Are you guys friends now or something?
Who?
Oh no. We do see each other sometimes. On the way to work or when I go out for lunch, but it's nothing like that.
Who the hell is Mandy?
We're not friends. Not in this lifetime. I don't think so. I don't think we'll ever get along, but if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't even be friends, yeah?
Oh, Mandy, you are my worst enemy right now.
You stood up for me that day. And from then on...
Maybe.
From then on, things have changed.
Hey, what exactly do you mean, woman? She makes it sound like I'm some sort of hero. Mandy wasn't wrong. Of course, I'll defend her. Well, I don't know the context of it, so... if no one's going to stand up for her, who else will? Who knows? Chances are it would have escalated, and who knows, maybe she would have stopped going to school or transferred. What the hell is this about? And this human being with an ounce of sense should know better, actually because I know what I'm doing is what's right. Details of the story, please. It's as simple as that. Yet she smiles, as if it's worth more than that. A fondness that goes beyond nostalgia.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is, this time, I don't want this to go unsaid. You know, just in case something happens.
Huh?
Ash.
Huh?
I've always been in love with you.
Sorry. Hello? It's below. Hello? Something's not correct here. Come on. She said so plainly, holding my gaze in a voice too frank that her admission snapped me into silence. Also, pretty sure this might have triggered a freaking death flag. I mean, come on. You shouldn't have said that this time. No. I mean, ever. Because, no. Like the wind has suddenly been knocked out of me in one fell swoop. No words would form, not even a single coherent thought, as the meaning of her words bear down me. Nevertheless, she continues desperate to express everything she has kept to herself all the years. This is what the fondness is. Maybe. Why, for her, it weighs heavier than any feelings of nostalgia can carry.
Since that time in secondary?
Like, God.
Since I made that promise to never leave.
Why are we acting like that right now?
I've always truly loved you.
Or so you think. Because once you kinda set yourself up with someone, you don't notice everyone around. And let's face it, she was like blindly believing that she's into Ashton only, but she would never confess or anything, so yeah, you don't know. Afterwards there is relief, a weight suddenly being lifted from her shoulders after so long. She closed her eyes and let out a breath. When she looks back at me, for there is nothing but hope in them, eyes that are searching for an answer. Facing necessarily behind the words, I find myself grasping, scrambling for the words. Because as much as this pains me to admit, I can give her the same affection she's asking for me. We might have spent so many years alongside each other. Hell, we practically grew up together. Sorry. Childhood friends never win. Kind of. In most cases. When it comes to me, they never win. I mean, not so far in the history. Unless there was childhood friend versus childhood friend, and it's no other person, well, then there is no other choice, right? But if there is childhood friend versus someone you met earlier, it's always someone you met earlier. Childhood friend versus someone you met later, so it's always someone you met later. Yeah. Anyway, but that never automatically means I'll ever hold for her feelings that goes beyond the boundaries of friendship. I do appreciate the present of my life. I'm more than glad that she has stuck with me even through the toughest moments. Even when she finds me difficult or aggravating. However, it's really all there is to it. She's a close, important friend to me, but nothing more.
Rebecca, I
draw in a breath, rapt, unsure. Uncertain how and which words to put together, so it will hurt her less, so the wounds they might leave won't be as deep or scar. For before I can even string two phrases together, she lifts a hand to my mouth and silences me. Her smiles on her face, kinder than every single one I've seen from her so far. It's nice to see it on her, it shows her more than the glares or the frowns. True that, but at the same time it only serves to buff me. You don't have to answer me!
Yeah, but you should... I should...
No, I mean, you don't need to.
Okay, now I'm really confused. One moment you're saying you've been in love with me since secondary, now you're telling me to shut up?
If you want to interpret it like that, all right.
No, really. Some explanation would be nice, Becca. Because a lot of things are going on right now, and I'm afraid I can't catch up. Especially with this curveball you just threw.
It means what it means, Ashton. You don't need to answer me. I don't really need to hear it anymore. It's not that I don't want to. Believe me, if I were the same person I was before this whole thing happened to us, I'd be elated. Excited even. But, like I said, I also realized some things. Understood myself more. Ash, I did love you. Ever since we were kids, all those times you defended me from bullies. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, even after this. But at the end of the day, once you take a closer look at everything, it also turned me into a really selfish person.
Oh my god, she's realizing stuff. I'm so glad. Alright, you know what? I'm also changing my point of view from the previous episode. You know what? I'm glad I won that battle with the ghost girl when we had the Rebecca's route. I mean, it's not really her route. When we saw the story from her point of view, something like that.
When you think about it, maybe the Ashton I loved isn't the one standing in front of me right now.
What?
Maybe all this time, I'm still clinging on to that aloof kid I met 17 years ago.
Okay, that's kinda probable, yes.
I didn't even consider that you have a mind of your own. That one day, it won't just be the two of us.
Ouch. Well, that hurt.
That you'll find someone else then. And it won't be me.
I'm sorry, Becca.
I'm not even sure what I'm apologizing for, that I can't return her feelings? Or because I'm holding myself responsible for this, even if up until now I have no idea how she felt. Regardless, she continues to smile through all of it.
It's not your fault. Don't say that. I'm the one who should apologize. Since I suddenly sprung this up on you when you have other things to do.
And you know what? Now those things will be freaking tough to deal with.
I just thought I should let you know. So I can finally let this whole thing go.
Yeah, and that was kinda selfish, you know?
One question though.
Because it will be on his mind for a long time now.
Are you going to tell her?
Tell what to who?
I pause, frowning every moment of that, while I try to figure out what she's talking about all of a sudden. When fun sinks in, for my bewilderment hastily gives way to utter embarrassment.
Oh. Oh, shit.
Heat abruptly crawls up my face, no matter my efforts to keep it down. In the end, I can only look away from her, afraid of what else she will see in it.
Did you really think no one would notice?
Yes.
Was it that obvious?
It was surprisingly easy to tell. But that was probably because I've known you longer than anyone.
Fuck, who else knows?
I think Zach suspects.
Shit.
You're embarrassingly lame when you're trying too hard. It's almost painful to watch. Don't worry. With your terrible way of flirting, and knowing her, I'm quite sure Belle has no idea, even now. Not even a clue.
Harsh, Rebecca. Really harsh. I could use a vote of confidence, you know.
She laughs, loud, the kind that's free of any burden, ringing both the wind soaring up as the storm clouds approach. With the over that atmosphere lifts at last. There is only that camaraderie we've shared since being in the classroom 17 years ago.
I'm serious, though. Tell her.
17 years? How can you hold back? Confessing for 17 years, god damn. Let's face it, this is pathetic.
And if you ever make her cry, I'll hit you with every damn history book I have on my shelf. Clear?
Ouch.
Noted, ma'am.
Anyway, thanks for hearing me out. I won't keep you long. I know you have things to do.
Alright, so basically how things can turn out. Ashton will be with Isabella. Hannah will divorce Luke. In the end, Luke will be with Rebecca. And then Zachary will be with Hannah. And, well, Marianne maybe will be with Japanese Firecracker. If you know who I'm talking about, you know. If no, then we have a problem. Sorry.
Just promise me you'll be careful, alright?
She doesn't wait for an answer. Instead, she gives me a push, with her force only heavy enough to throw me off balance. Caught unaware by the gesture for a few moments, I fight for purchase against my car's trunk, bracing my hand on its smooth surface. When I look up, with a string of reprimands straight at the tip of my tongue, Rebecca's already halfway through the parking lot. There is a small skip in her steps, while the breeze carries the light tune she's whistling. On a whim, I let it snow be the last thing I commit to memory before stepping inside my car and driving off. It sounds like a new beginning, more than anything. Another reason to be optimistic. Within 10 minutes, I'm driving out of Luxembourg and heading straight for Anslem village. In distance, flashes of lightning light up the horizon, white and sharp against the black curtain of the night. Thunder threatens with a rumble, seconds later, echoing long across the sky. Honestly, I'm still kind of waiting for the possibility of Marianne calling Ashton because something happened. I'm still waiting for this. And with one last roar, the skies opened in earnest. I guess it didn't happen. At least now. Okay, November 1st. The last day in the journal, ladies and gentlemen. You should leave it, but okay. Ashton left our dimension at nightfall, but when he got his car, he found Rebecca waiting for him. Fearing she might not have the chance, Rebecca was PolishLynx. But before he could answer, Rebecca stopped him, admitted she had been selfish and she was letting him go. She only wanted him to know. Alright. November 1st. It's the first time we approached you in this game, so this is going to be interesting. Hopefully. The rain fall in fast, steady sheets, creating shallow puddles on the dirt path, drenching everything the ice can reach. Despite having grown up in the city, I still despise the rain. Living here doesn't mean I have to like it. Like me, I've reached the mansion before downpour has turned torrential. Whew, I wonder if I'm supposed to be ready for some battle or not. The long slog from the village by foot has already been made difficult by the light drizzle and biting winds buffeting against my body every few seconds. Right, I might be mistaken, but I think there is a bit of a fog around as well, like super light. By the time I found cover under the trees lining the vicinity of the mansion, my shoulders are already drenched. My hair is also sticking against my skin and out in every possible direction. Thankfully, the leather, taser, and gun I brought with me has remained relatively dry. That's the most important thing. However, those are the least of my problems at the moment. Sometime after the housewarming party, scumbag, right, has suddenly grown a brain and tightened the security around the mansion. I mean, I think you realize why, right? Basically, do not allow a certain person there. A guard is now stationed in every possible point of entry, the main entryway, the back door leading to the kitchens. Alright, I know it's something he doesn't know about. But I'm sure there is another entrance. And it's definitely not in the grounds of the mansion. I had no idea where that entrance might be. Hell, it's almost a miracle no one has spotted me once I entered the property. Oh, okay. I guess you don't need that entrance. Although that's probably because I've kept close to the forest. While I can always create a lower way in for myself under this deluge, it would be difficult to do so without making much noise or leaving tracks.
I don't really have the luxury either, do I?
considering how off this place feels since I've stepped in the property and the mansion came into view. Every line is off. Even with the security personnel on patrol outside, the whole house itself, it feels empty, eerie, too quiet. Normally, I'll pass still past some kind of power outage because of the storm. It's not far off conclusion when this place is almost in the middle of nowhere. Should have installed solar panels or... you know, use the wind power as well. I would totally do that. However, something just feels wrong.
Something happened here.
Or about to. Is the sole reason why I haven't done anything yet? Simply observing, watching, listening for anything. I might be pressed for time, but I'm not a careless idiot. Although I need a way desperately, so moving without thinking will not only endanger me. With so many unknown variables and what we're dealing with, I also have to act on the assumption that someone is always in danger, especially in this place. I can't act impetuously. As far as I get right, I'm not about to cause his death because of one thoughtless action. If there's a place he deserves to be at, it's in a prison, not a morgue. Oh, fuck. So when a hoarse, painful sob suddenly rings out above the loud pitter-patter of rain, only then do I stir. A woman. Perhaps a servant. Or worse, Hannah Wright. Or even worse! It's coming from the forest? Yeah, that should give you the freaking idea it's not her. Just right up ahead, in fact, not too far from the house. Regardless, I need to place a quick glance before following the noise. Carefully, keeping to the shadows, one cautious step after another. Louder and louder it goes as I near. Until it abruptly turns to a loud, desperate, anguished cry. I break into a run. One nervous hand ready on the gun holstered at my hip, and the other raised for bounce I scurry across the dense understory. Dead leaves crunch under my shoes, but I paid no mind. There is only the voice, the woman, and... nothing! Abruptly it all stops, and I met, with a sudden hush. Blank. Empty. Almost deafening in its stillness. Even with my labored breathing and pounding heartbeats against my ears behind me, another branch breaks, and... Dread surges within me while I spin around, take a hard step back, ignoring the chilly pinpricks crawling at the back of my neck. But before I can even meet her eyes, the ward unexpectedly pitches sideways, tilting. Then tilting till the ground beneath me finally crumbles. My hands fight for purchase. On to meet her. By then it's too late. My foot slips further and the rest of my body follows. I guess we're not wearing good shoes for that weather. Dark spots blur the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echo from the far distance, scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with the sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. But more than that are the voices, placing venom beside every crevice in my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride. Ova. It's because you didn't listen. And over. It's all your fault. And over again. Why won't you believe me? A reminder of what I failed to do and of who I failed. What I'm trying to desperately fix. A scream threatens to burst, but my throat goes off. Ever so slowly, a chill seeps in every nerve in my body, pushing away every sensation in me apart from one. There is only fear. Once again her laughter echoes, a sound both bitter and unforgiving. It is the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. Oh, here we are. How darkness greets me when my eyes finally snap open, the soft patter of dripping water somewhere spurring my consciousness further. For a few short moments I remain still, blinking away the dizziness, allowing my vision to adjust to the lack of light and my breathing to even out first before pushing myself up on one arm and attempting to stand. Turning alone is a struggle its own. An inch of movement sends a stab of sharp pain right up my arms and my back, giving me another pause.
Shit. I hope I didn't break anything. Fuck.
There doesn't seem to be an injury or major fracture, although the whole of my back does feel sore and raw. Probably from when I've skied down prior to landing if I'm still here. A comforting thought. Wait, what? Wait, what? The second attempt comes easier later, though no less painful. And by the time I'm back on my feet, the exertion has left me gasping short, shallow breaths and leaning heavily on the wall nearest to me. Wait, you want to tell me you... How the hell did you fall there? Behind me, a light drop blows in from where I've fallen in. How? There was a freaking hole, so in the end this area is under the mansion completely. Alright, so where the hell might be the entrance to it? Coming in short, sharp bursts into what's apparently an underground tunnel, and brings in the fresh, earthly smell of rain from the top side. Regardless, it fails to mask the old, musty scent of the place. A mixture of mold, mildew, dust, grease, and something distinctively foul. Like death. More worrisome than the putrid festering smell, however, are the cells that line both sides of the tunnel. Under the dim light, I can barely make out what's inside on some of them. I already have a few ideas, all of which I refuse to delve into at the moment, knowing how long this mansion has stood. Somehow, no matter how unexpected finding the existence of these places, it isn't too surprising.
I wonder if Scumbag knows about this.
Probably not, unless he's also the kind of person who takes joy in inflicting this kind of suffering on others. I don't really think so. He's rotten to core, but not that rotten. He'll probably balk at this, move out at the first opportunity and have it demolished. The very idea of what has occurred in this place years ago makes me real as well. I've known long ago places like this tend to hold secrets. This fall? If this is just the tip of the iceberg. I fear what I may discover in the mansion itself and the tale behind the fucking letter. But fiercely inconsequential. As unpleasant as the sight of this place might also be the only way for me to get inside unnoticed. Sighing and taking one last gulp of clean air, I push away from the wall and delve deeper into the passage.
Let's just hope it'll be smooth sailing from here on.
Turns out that Ellen is too much to ask for this early. Okay, that wasn't that. That was someone else. Note 20 paces into it, another sound abruptly rises above my footfalls. Rebounding off the hollow walls and echoing loud across the whole span of the tunnel before fading away just as swiftly as it drank. I pause, nevertheless, straining my ears for more of it, while I gradually move my hand to my side, slowly and steadily until the tips of my fingers brush off the gun's handle. Cold against my skin is the closest thing I have to comfort at the moment. For a long minute I wait, holding my breath, watching every form, edge, and shadow at the corners of my vision for any movement. After a heartbeat and nothing, I allow tension to ease out of me in the form of a long, slow exhale that reverberates around the whole passage.
Who's there?
Perhaps it's because of what has happened earlier and how I've ended up here, or maybe it's because of my training. But in spite of the panic and fear in the voice, I don't immediately answer. Instead, I pull my gun free from its holster and wordlessly draw closer to where the voice rings out once again. Afraid. Frantic. With?
I'm asking you a question. Who's there?
It's only after I release the safety do I answer while continuing my approach in a careful, steady pace.
I think I should be the one asking you that. Who are you? Show yourself!
I can't. I'm stuck in here.
Well, a ghost will definitely not be saying that, or have a conversation like this, or be stuck anywhere. Or he's trying to lure you in that way. And as if to prove her point, she extends a hand from one of the cells ahead and waves. Then she pulls back, grips the arm bars, and travels lightly.
I can't get out. Can you help?
In 5 quick steps, I'm standing in front of the cell, and sure enough, a woman inside, slumped on the floor, holding the bars with shaking hands, clinging to it as if it's the only thing keeping her upright. And not just any woman.
You? McLaughlin?
The same one I met at G's 5 days ago, smashed drunk and bubbling her frustration about her employers. No, not McLaughlin. McCullough. Marian McCullough, famous interior designer extraordinaire. Not so extraordinary now, with how exhausted and feeble she looks trapped in a jail cell of all things. Her breathing is shallow and there is a paleness to her complexion. Sunken eyes, cracked lips, dry skin, all signs pointing to starvation and dehydration.
What? How long have you been stuck in here?
3 days? 4? I don't know. I have no idea anymore. I just fell in and that woman...
Well...
Whatever! Can you get me out of here? Please!
In a moment. But here, go feed yourself first before you fall over.
Oh. I fish out the energy bar from my pocket and hand it to her. She's lucky I always have one on my person. For sudden emergencies or extended stakeouts. And a little sugar to keep me going. Like any starting person, she wastes no time breaking her up for it, unwrapping it straight away, and taking whole mouthfuls of it. Relief washes over her face on the first bite alone. Oh, she's going to need more than that if what she has said is true. But for the moment, it's enough to keep her alive. Good thing she seems to have the sense to prioritize survival over comfort, if the pallor of the corner of the cell indicates anything. Without water, the human body can only survive 3 days, no food, and I'll give it an average of 3 weeks. So even then, it won't be a pretty experience. Granted, some have survived longer dead. She's still fortunate I found her when I did. Now to get her out. My bobby pins won't be of any use here, not like I need it. Unlike the ones we have at the pressing sinks, a simple barrel hinge holds the gates to this cell together. Even without any push tools, I'll be able to leave the door and free her. However, with how many, it seems I'll need a lever of some sort of help to help. Like a bone, I'm assuming.
What are you looking for?
Some wood, a 2x4 I guess, a plank or a pipe, anything I can use as a lever. Wait here.
The hallway yields nothing but dust, dirt and a few rusted chains scattered about. But I may find something in one of the open cells. I'm reluctant to check or even step in. We can't have another person trapped in here. However, Makolo ended up inside.
Well, there's no...
My head snaps back to her. My colleague extricates a wooden board from under the mass of hay and twine near her. Okay, I was totally prepared for this to be a bone. Without prompting, she slips it through what little space there is between the bars. It's short, but appears thick and sturdy enough for my intended purpose upon closer inspection.
Good enough.
I hope. I get to work at once, anchoring the other ends of the plank at the base of the door and applying ample force on the other end. It takes a bit of effort, no kidding about the heavy part. Still, a grunt, a gasp, a creak. In a matter of minutes, with a little help from her on the other side, the door eventually lifts off its hinges. It falls on the ground with a loud ugly metallic toot, but the sound of it puts elation on Makolo's face. She doesn't even ask for help. As soon as she can, she hastily crawls out of the prison she has accidentally found herself in. More than happy to get out of it, despite lacking the strength to stand firmly on her feet.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Prison break.
After the second day, I was so sure I was going to die in there. If you didn't show up... I don't even want to think about it.
How did you even end up here?
For a second she appears hesitant, looking away and fumbling awkwardly with her fingers.
I was looking for something. Someone.
A contemplative expression flickers in her eyes. Something that's close to wistful, like when a person remembers a memory she's fond of. It doesn't last long, but it still gives me the impression that I have suddenly walked into something private. Something deeply personal for her. I'd rather not ask.
So this whole tunnel, at the end of it, it leads right inside the mansion?
The wine cellar.
Right into the kitchen then.
There's a door of some sorts. I don't know. I think I pulled or pressed something somewhere. I was in a hurry. And I'm not sure if it'll open from this side. Hell, this place wasn't even in the floor plans.
Calm down. What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Does that really matter now? We have to get out of here. People died in this place. Kids! Oh God! Kids! I could have shown you, but that thing won't turn back on anymore. It's like it only waited for me to see it before shutting down or something. How long has that thing even been in there?
But those poor kids. All because of that thing.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about right now?
The bloody letter! Ever since I've read that thing, since that day at the open house, she won't leave me. But it should be fine now, right? I broke it. I broke all of it. She shouldn't be able to do anything now.
Mikala, one at a time. You're...
Going mental.
It's all that fucking paper's fault! Oh God! Oh God! Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless those poor souls. We're not safe here. We need to leave. If we stay here any longer...
And you just triggered something.
Mikalo!
Abruptly stops, looks back at me with wide, panic-stricken eyes. I've seen Apple with so many times these past few days from my own friends even. You know, she has seen things, the kind that will easily make any person go mad. And perhaps we slowly are. The longer this angst the pulsar of descent into it becomes, I can't even tell which one's worse, death or this. Seems like no matter what we end up with, there will be something horrible waiting for us. I need to hurry.
Listen, I need to get inside this place, and you're more familiar with its layout. If you can help me...
What? No!
Yes!
Why would I go back? Are you sure you haven't gotten raving mad yet? An exit's right here.
And this business with the letter has to end at some point. Look, I know you're not very fond of Luke Wright.
Damn right I'm not. He can just go.
But are you really sure you want to leave him like this? And what about his wife?
It strikes a chord. She falters, grows quiet as the tension lifts from her and her shoulders slump. I do understand her issues with this. In fact, she doesn't have to go with me, only tell me enough info so I can figure it out on my own. She can always leave afterwards. Be done with this whole dimension and letter. The other end of this tunnel leads right into the forest. It will provide ample cover for her to be able to slip out of the property unnoticed. All the same, she steels herself and squares her shoulders.
Just until the kitchens.
But you know, I'm sure there is food in the kitchen and water.
That's more than enough.
She nods, albeit weakly. Then without another word, she gestures for me to follow, leading me further into the passage. Occasionally, she will stop, find perches on the wall to catch her breath, but throughout the short walk, she asks for neither break nor assistance. I suppose that's something we have in common. Eventually, we get to a dead end. Although before I can question her on it, she begins palming for something on the wall, tracing her fingers along weathered edges of the bricks with a frown on her face.
It should be somewhere here, I think.
What the hell are you doing?
She merely holds up a hand, begging for my silence and not deception. Then, without warning, a few minutes later, something clicks. A portion of the wall shifts ajar to reveal a glimpse of another room. Bottles lining the walls, liquor barrels for aging. The wine cellar, indeed.
The ladder to the kitchen is on the far end of this room.
Come on, I mean, you don't want to return this way, right? Surreal. This is all nothing but a surreal nightmare, but after everything, should this even surprise me? Ghosts, curses, hidden passages? I can't even bring myself to question the existence of this door anymore. I simply follow her to the undergrowth without a single question, in spite of a number of them already swimming inside my head. As a kid, I used to crave for this kind of adventure. The stuff of mystery and detective novels, daring chases, interesting cases to solve, suspects to put behind bars, justice to serve. I was blind at admit. Now I simply want this to be over. Alright, let's go to the wine cellar in the next episode, and we'll continue where this will go from here. Yeah, tomorrow basically. I wonder what Marianne is going to do. Is she going to try to go back through that freaking, well, crazy area basically, or she will actually go through the mansion somehow? I would choose the mansion, to be honest. I mean, I think it's always better to be not under the ground, right? Anywho, hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye bye.